Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a lot of vowels and I'm going to change. I'll keep EIT. Great, I draw the blank WU, less useful, but I think unright is good. Through a T, I would have wordsight. Wow. This is going to score well. 90 points, fantastic. I thought it was going to score more because I had the Z, but of course the Z is the blank, but 90 points, very welcome. And look at this for a pick. Jolly close to a bingo, it's balanced, there are no duplicates. The V is the only non-bingo-y tile. So, do I have anything through a V I would have involved? Is there a 7? No R for over. So the V is problematic. I do have the IVE ending. I have evil doing through I and G. But let me look at the floaters on the board. What about W? No. How about U? I have the UN prefix. Nope, not seeing anything. Now there is an R for over, but my remaining tiles are lind. That doesn't make anything. K. No. I have the kin ending, so close to devilkin. How about the E? No. Let me consider the 2 letter sets. XI. No. ET. Gosh, well, there is violented through ET, but not in this position. DE. No. Is there really nothing with this E? Not that I can see. I could be missing something here. This feels jolly close. However, I haven't seen anything. I do need to play. What to do? I could play vol, which is quite nice because it takes quite a few hooks at the end, and any play in row N, well, from my perspective it could be a bingo, but if opponent plays there, they'll be creating access to row O, and I'm unlikely to be creating a unique bingo lane because there are plenty of others on the board, and this rack leave is pretty good. Only 22 points, that's pretty lame. Am I missing something through this E? I just haven't seen it. Okay, so let me play. Not great. So I draw GOO. I've got the ING ending, but the rest of the rack, not propitious. I don't think, well, rodeoing may be good, but it doesn't play through this R. Vet takes an E in front, Atoke takes an M in front for future reference. Now, I'm not seeing a 7. I've got wood with the W. What about the K? No. No, that wasn't a good pick. GOO. And I've got no scoring tiles. I've got the oid ending. That's not suggesting anything. Opponent taking a while with their play. Just looking in column 2 to see if I've got a 5-letter play, but I would need, well, I would need my E to go next to vet and L, and I've only got 1. I was just eyeing up the spot to the right of the U for my G. Opponent provides an F. No bingo there. So how to sort the rack out? Really just playing off the tiles I've drawn, which are goo. OK is good, and KO. So I have zoomed, leaving GI. £19, that's not very many. Just wondering about playing Goo here, 11 points. Opponent's not going to score very much in column 1. I may be more likely to play in column 1 because I've got the N to go with the G. Rackleave is good. I'm not providing anything apart from column 1. And this is still a bingo-y 4-letter set, and this is a really good board for bingos. But can I score more with my Goo tiles? What about Ghoul? 15 points, slightly more points, and slightly better play, not really offering anything for opponent. I'm going with this. Right, surely I am bingoing now, or am I? Infected, that's thwarted by Vet. No N for indecent. Wow, opponent plays precisely the same tiles as I did. Goo. Necktied, not good. Wow, I may not have a bingo here, and the number of floaters is dramatically shrinking, including the number of 2-letter floaters. So, what to do? Go-Go has taken out the F. I'm wondering if there's a 7 here. I lead by 30. The R is available, but I would need an O for going above the K. The Z is available. Not seeing a bingo there. No. Well, if I'm missing a bingo, it's super high probability. Enticed. Okay, there is a bingo here, and it plays. Fantastic. Wow, I would have been just devastated not to have spotted that. Fortunately, I didn't rush into making a play. So, where does it play? Rows G and I, next to the E of a toque. Just wondering if enticed has an anagram. I know it takes a P in front, but I'm not seeing an anagram. So it plays in rows G and I. It plays in row N, but that's super volatile, making volt, because it's creating a 9-letter lane, triple lane in column 1, and providing access to row O triples. And although 2 openings is better than 1, it's just very volatile. But it does score a lot more than playing anywhere else, so I'm minded to play it. This is 81 points. Yeah, that's nearly 20 more points than a row G or I play, and enticed in either of those rows creates a ton of opportunities for the opponent as well. I am going with this. Pretty good. Not bingo-y, but a welcome sight. 7 random tiles. So I have Z's in column 1. Can I get my Z to play in the middle? Great, only 36 points for opponent. I've got nays in row O, but is there a way of playing the Y as well? A play of yes would leave a really good rackleave of SEAN. So look at this, I could play yes here for 44 points, keeping a super rackleave on a board with a lot of bingo lanes. I am gifting opponent row O, but they've just played off 4 tiles, and they're not going to get anything big on a double letter square or are very unlikely to do so. And any bingo in row O is likely to be playable elsewhere. So, can I do better than yes for 44? It doesn't play in row O. I think the only thing better than yes would be a ZY play in row O. Z and Y would need to be to the right of enticed. But Sneezy doesn't play, and I'm not seeing anything else which does, so I am going with yes. So, does this create a bingo? Sarnie is one of the best 6-letter sets. Does it go with a W? Oh wow, 82 for opponent, so I still lead. I've got a great rack. It would be helpful if I didn't miss a bingo now. But do I have one? From a T, I would have tinwares. Is there a 7? Wow, I struggled to find enticed earlier. Is this a similar situation? If there is a bingo here, it is super high probability. Let me consider initial letters. Not seeing one. Wow. Okay, what about the floaters in air rated, which is just D and E? D could end ward. Nope. What about the E? No. Wow, this is a big moment. My lead is only 40 points. Am I missing a bingo? There's double E as a 2-letter set. Any other floaters I've overlooked? I don't think so. Really tempting to play off just the W. I think there's a 7 here. A long time ago, before the age of card boxes, I learnt the stems, which means that for Sarnie I would have a mnemonic for all the letters which Sarnie went with. I thought W, I can't remember the mnemonic. I thought W did go with Sarnie. Massively high probability, but it is eluding me. So where to play off the W? And do I play off anything else? What about doing this? It's 24 points. Resin is almost as strong as Sarnie. I'm creating a double-double lane, which I'm more likely to get than opponent. There's a very high probability I will bingo next turn, so regardless of what opponent does, I should still be in the game. I could place my W underneath double E, but then I would need to play off a third tile, and a really good 5-letter set is a lot better than a really good 4-letter set. Okay, well, if I'm playing AW, yeah, I don't think I'm going to find a better spot. So I have Insaner, which plays as a double-double in column 11. It also plays in row B. I am bingoing. Fantastic. So does Insaner have an anagram? I still have my bingo in row B. Opponent only gets 22 points. Insaner doesn't play. Well, Grav takes an S, so I do have Insaner in row L. Tempting. But does Insaner have an anagram? in snare. Just looking for plays parallel to grav. G only takes an I, so neither insane nor in snare plays. Is there a third anagram? Not that I can see. So this is what I'm thinking of. Insaner for 75 points. I lead by 40, I'll lead by 120. I can survive anything other than a triple-triple. 9 time, and there are no blanks to come. And there's a ton of non-bingo-y tiles, and the R is covering the double letter square, so opponent's ability to score big in column 15, highly limited. Column 14 is it's a more of a 50-point opportunity with this triple letter square, but that will be providing access to me for column 15, so I am going with this. And not a good pick. I have frumpy as a 6. So, short on vowels. Let me count the remaining vowels. 13 out of 31, so it is vowel dry. Just wondering if I've got something across from the G, something like gumpy, but I don't think that's good. So I don't think I do. I'm not seeing anywhere for frumpy. Look at that, just 19 points. Fantastic. Alas, I'm not able to score highly in column 15. I can score lowly with furry. But my lead is only 100, so it would be quite handy to score a little more than whatever furry would score. I have grump across from the G. This is surely worth considering. 33 points, that's pretty handy. F and Y aren't terrible, particularly in the context of a vowel drought, because a Y is a quasi-vowel and FY is a word which can often be slotted in to score well. But is grump the best I can do in row H? Yeah, not seeing anything better than that. 5 minutes on my clock, 20 tiles in the bag. Great, I do draw some vowels, and I have scoring tiles, and that may be what I need to get over the line. I've got a good lead, but if opponent bingos, I could do with a succession of good 20 and 30 point plays, and a rack with scoring tiles and vowels helps to achieve that. The floaters in grump not particularly bingo-y apart from the R. Very few A's and E's, which are the bingo-y vowels, and quite a few S's, but this isn't an S-friendly board. So what am I going to do with my scoring tiles? Great, just 16 for points for opponent. What a delightful sight. So, I've not seen anywhere yet. Although I have 4, and although I've said that scoring tiles are good, I would still like to keep as few as possible on my rack. MY is good. UH is good. So, tricky. Really tricky. What about playing through the M? Only 4 minutes on my clock. That's not very much when you could do with some time. Do I have any impy words? No. Wow, I'm really struggling to find any candidate play, which is the worst position to be in. Ordinarily one finds a good play and looks for a better one, especially with the clock ticking. I'm not seeing anything at all. Really nothing. And I'd like to play off an I. Let me do this. 22 points. That felt awful. But it did achieve something. It split up the duplicate I's, it scored over 20 points, it took out floaters. Now I've drawn the J, QU still to come, but only one U and no vowels. If I draw the Q, I do have I's. And there is a QI spot in row D. What am I going to do with the J? G is good. I have gin in row G. Doesn't score very much, but it does score more than 20. I lead by 130. Okay, there go the Q and the U. This is a good move for me. Only 30 points for opponent. Oh wow, what's left is bingo-y. 6 tiles in the bag. Oh well, I was thinking about playing gin and then thinking gin takes a D in front. But what about doing this instead? It's 42 points, which is massive. I'm keeping back the N for chin. I don't have a vowel to go next to the Y, but if opponent plays there, I'll have access to column 15. I'm retaining a 3-letter word gin, which plays in row B and row G, so I'm not going to be stuck with the J. If I draw an A, I'll have jar and Joe. 2 minutes on my clock. Now, do I have any plays ending I-N-Y? Oh wow, I do. I was thinking about playing piney, but that takes an S in front, and there are 3 to come, so that can't be best. I'm going with this. Wow, and I miss all of these S's. 3 S's unseen and only 3 tiles in the bag. Are they all S's? I draw an O, so... and up takes an O, but I've only got 1. So the best I can do in column 14 is Fon. I was looking to play off the J there. 41 points for opponent, that's fine. I still lead by over 100. And the bag is empty and opponent has 6 tiles. 2 minutes on my clock. So how best to see this game out? Well, I don't have the opportunity of seeing the game out. Opponent has resigned, but it's late in the game, so I don't think that's a terrible thing to do. And the final score, 341 to opponent, 448 to me, a winning margin of 107 points, so a huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. That felt like a good, feel-good game. So it was me to go first with this delightful rack. I changed. 6 points, keeping 4 vowels. I don't think is better than changing. Opponent plays a toque, and I have wordsight for 90, and a few other options available. Opponent plays X'd. Now, did I miss something? No, I didn't. Fantastic. A4 Vildi, that would have been nice, 31 points. What do? I play Vol for 22, keeping Dine, which is a decent 4-letter keep. So I think my play has merit. Opponent with the blank plays Phylum. Phew, again, no missed bingo. I've missed 2 bingos in each of the last 2 games, so one always has that in mind. But Wooding available from the W, 28 points. I think that would have been the play. Instead, I play Ghoul for 15, again, sacrificing points for rack leave, which is a perfectly valid thing to do, but one mustn't sacrifice too many. Now, opponent's rack plays Go-Go, and I have enticed and no anagrams being offered, which suggests to me that there isn't one. And I do like the extra points for playing in row N. So, no bingo for opponent. Plays Absi, which was a good spot. And I play Yes for 44, and I like that. Fantastic rack leave. Opponent plays aerated, which was a good spot, and this is a good battle, and I lead by 40. Now, moment of truth. No bingo. Okay. So what do? I play or for 24. Only 3 off the top play, and I am keeping Risen as a rack leave, so I like my play. Opponent with a pretty awful rack plays Grav. And now L9 Insaner. That was my play for 75, and Ensnare looks like the only anagram. Opponent plays Burl. And I have this tricky rack. I play Grump for 33. That looks fine. Opponent plays Ner. Could have played the Q at G13. Could have played Qua through the U, but with an awful rack leave of 2 U's and 2 N's. So I think they held on to the Q, given that they had the U, because that has positive rack leave value. Now, this is the rack I really struggled with. Hip B5. Well, yes, in some respects it scores. It plays off some of my scoring tiles, but it doesn't score massively. It doesn't split up the duplicate I, and it opens row A, so I don't like that. I get only 2 fewer points for HI, and strategically I think my play is better. Opponent plays Quota for 30. And I thought about Jin, was mindful of the D front hook, and went with Yip for 2 fewer points. Opponent with all 3 S's, so greedy, plays Hass and then quits. Well, I was over 100 points in front, and opponent only had 6 tiles, so wasn't going to bingo. So the game was certainly won, but what a fantastic game. No missed bingos in that game. I'm delighted to report, and just great fun, and particularly pleased to see wordsight, which is a great fun word, not only including a Z, but also the dreaded WU combo. So many thanks to opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.